I'll be honest, marketing funnel talk ain't my jam, it's just not. But today we're gonna use, easy to understand terms to either build one from scratch or make our existing funnels even better. And I promise I've got some new ideas for you today. Stay with me. I'm Pallen, a brand strategist. Welcome to my channel where I promise practical advice to build your brand. Today we are talking about one of my least favorite topics, but we have to, sadly. It's kind of boring, but I'm gonna try and make it more exciting than it normally is. Funnels. I like funnel cake. I don't like marketing funnels. But if we want to thrive online, we need one. So let's rip this Band-Aid off by starting with what and why. Now I could spend lots of time making a custom graphic, or I could just find a great resource that you can click on right now in the description below. I love SEMrush, and I love their blog and this specific article, which explains perfectly what a marketing funnel is. The concept is very simple. It's this: a visual representation of the buyer stages that people go through to become aware of a business, product, or service. We'll talk more about the different models and examples, but this is what you'll see the most: awareness, consideration, conversion, and finally, loyalty. Now let's put some people in the funnel. The most number of people will be aware of your business, and that will gradually decrease as we work our way down the funnel at each level. So we move from awareness to consideration, someone considering your brand, again, maybe multiple touch points, even fewer then, to conversion, which is someone purchasing your product or entering their email address. And finally, even fewer people coming back for more, building that kind of brand loyalty. That's the concept. And again, this article does a really good job of giving some different funnel examples. Okay, we get it, but I have a feeling now some of these examples might help to fuel the skyrocketing of your brand. And when I say examples, I don't mean examples of different funnel models. That's gonna make this more confusing. There are a few in that first SEMrush article that I linked to, but in this case, I'm specifically looking for examples of how other brands have set up their own funnels that can inspire us. And you'll see a few on this article that I'm also linking to in the description below. ConvertKit, a brand that I use and that I've worked with that I absolutely love, is a great example. Here is their funnel. At the awareness level, they create blog content free on their website that will hopefully capture the interest of prospects using keywords and other content. They also hire affiliates, people like me, that will talk about the platform to their existing audiences. As we move down the funnel at the next level, interest, this is going to be webinars, video training that they offer for free that's going to take people ideally from that interest level, they're interested in the product or service, to that next stage, which is decision, using ConvertKit for their email marketing. For this, ConvertKit uses case studies, testimonial to prove that they're the best marketing platform. I do believe that they're the best platform for email marketing, by the way. I should also note here, they offer a limited freemium version of the tool. That means that people can actually start using it before they have to pay. And finally, the action is going to be ConvertKit's nurture prospect. So demonstrating the value of the tool, maybe an email per day that's showcasing its educational content, features, power, its versatility, for example. That's one example of a funnel, ConvertKit, and there are many, many others. Let's actually choose one more just while we're here. I'm going to choose a brand that I am familiar with. Harvest is a great one. This is a time tracking software that I've actually used before and recommended it to others. At the awareness level, they share content. At the interest level, guides, templates, webinars, even live training sessions that might make sense for your brand. At the decision level, often show what you're looking for, social proof, make converting easier by offering a 30-day free trial. That's going to bring us to that action level where hopefully people sign up for a paid subscription to use the product and see value in it. Mailshake is a great product and service. You can look at these in your own time. Let's do one more that everyone certainly knows: Netflix. Obviously a paid video streaming subscription. At the awareness level, I mean, come on, Netflix, most people know about this. Why? Because they were first to market. However, they also use influencer marketing. So you may have seen Netflix shows promoted by other creators that you follow online. As we move down through interest and decision, they definitely hire PR, publicity, public relations to spread awareness about their shows and titles. Action. Netflix makes this easy because you can cancel at any time with no hidden fees or long-term commitments. They also have different tiers, right, of plans, some that are more expensive based on the features that they offer. So that's another example of a marketing funnel for a different type of business. So even brands that are really well known and some that you might not know, all of them are making use of this type of structure to raise awareness and ideally convert interest into subscription or into buyers. Now, speaking of examples, I have one more that I want to give you. This is from a recent podcast interview that I did with David Bain, and he explains his unique concept called the pump and funnel, a marketing model. And I really loved this perspective. I recommend listening to the podcast episode, obviously, where he goes into detail about this. We talk about it for almost half an hour, but he says the problem is that sometimes people are customers before the awareness stage, and marketing tactics might not actually fit. So you pump your customer up. See here, human, pump it up. And he gives some really tangible examples here of how the rest of this funnel will work at each of the stages. So awareness, things like books, virtual summits, consideration, blog posts, social media, FAQs, even here under Hub, which is actually outside of the funnel, YouTube, podcasts, courses, advertising, product pages, and sales. This diagram will make total sense once you actually listen to David explain his concept of the pump and funnel. I'm going to link to this podcast episode in the description below. It's a good one. Okay, I want to talk now specifically about conversion, arguably the most important function of your marketing funnel. So let's discuss. Conversion is really the thing that we're after. This blog article from HubSpot is actually really good. We'll zoom down to this section where it talks about one thing we haven't mentioned yet, another way of describing a funnel. So top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom. Similar to what we're talking about, awareness, consideration, and conversion. Okay, just a different way to describe those terms. But what they have down here is a really good understanding of how you can analyze your funnel. We'll come back to this first one here in a second when we talk about metrics. I want to highlight this. Discover where your best customers come from. As it says here, not all leads are the same, and that is very true regardless of what your business is. Tracking leads is incredibly important so that we know where they come from, and it gives us ideas on where we can get more of them. So these are questions you should probably ask yourself. How is this touch point different from other touch points? What information is resonating with people? What barriers or friction exist if there are any? Finally, how many steps do people have to go through before converting? These are things to think about if you're building your funnel today from scratch or you're auditing the one that you already have in place. People can drop off at different points of the funnel, so it's really important that you analyze what you have or you consider this while you're building. I won't go into detail now, but there are more tips here about top funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. If you're interested, again, linked in the description below. How do you know if your marketing funnel is working? We need to look at some metrics. Here's what I think you should be paying attention to. Looking at the very same article that we had up a second ago, I promised we'd come back to this number one, looking at high traffic pages with high drop-off and conversion rates. So here are the metrics that you really want to start to measure and understand to make sure your funnel is working. What we're trying to understand is, why do people decide to stay or go? We need to look at pages where people drop off. That's called leave. We also need to look at where they convert, right? So where people take your intended action. So these are the metrics that you want to collect information on. Cost per acquisition, also known as CPA. Customer lifetime value, right? The total value of one particular customer in terms of what they've purchased. Drop-off rate, so people that have left the page and not gone anywhere else. Conversion rate of the people who visited that page. How many of them have converted? Finally, number of marketing qualified leads, MQLs. And as I mentioned, I'm linking to this. I won't go into detail in this video on each of these metrics, but these are hyperlinked on this blog post. So if you are interested in all or any of these in particular, you can go check those out, as well as a formula to calculate these. Definitely, in terms of metrics, this is what you want to look at. There you go. That is marketing funnels, the most exciting way that I can describe them in plain language with examples and new ideas for you to contemplate when building and refining your own. I've linked to some useful stuff that we talked about and covered. Go ahead, check those out in the description. If you've got any other lingering questions, comment below. Let's keep the conversation going on down there. I'll respond to those personally. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. That helps other people discover these videos, which we work hard to create for you. And subscribe for more of my videos on branding, positioning, building, and promoting your brand. Next, I'm sharing a few videos I think you'll be interested in. I'm Pallen. Thanks for watching those. Coming up next.